Welcome back to This Week in Hockey East. It's time for our interview segment presented by Boston Harbor Hotel. Plan your getaway today at bostonharborhotel.com and experience Boston's best waterfront views. Well, the head coach of one of the hottest teams in Hockey East and the country right now is Scott Borek, who's nice enough to join us. The Merrimack Warriors are 10-3-1 since December 12th. They've moved up 26 spots in the NPI over that time. Coach, appreciate you being here. Looking forward to chatting a little bit. What's been the biggest thing that's allowed you guys to go on this run here over the last couple of months?
I think our team, we have a lot of new guys. I think we have as many as 14 or 15 new guys on our roster. And it took a while to get accustomed. It took a while to get to know each other. It took a while to come together a little bit as a locker room. But we've gotten there, and it hasn't been an easy ride. But at times it's been very happy, very successful, but other times not very much so. But I think right now we're in a pretty good headspace in the room. Our players are getting very comfortable with each other and comfortable with the challenges in Hockey East.
Yeah, we want to talk to you about some of the individuals on your team as well. And we'll start with Justin Gill, a goal in each of the last 6 games, longest point streak in the NCAA at 11 games. Can you tell people about his story and the impact that he's had for you guys this year?
Sure. He's a unique individual. He had dealt with professional hockey at a little bit in the American League, but more in the coast. Was having a pretty good experience. And then when the rules changed within the NCAA, allowing certain players with certain things that they've done in their past that made them ineligible years ago, or actually not even years, a year ago, were removed from that. And he wanted to go to college. He was a good student. School matters to him. We were fortunate enough to be in the right place and be able to land him to come here. He's done really well in school, which is exciting. And he's been a lot to our locker room. We were together for 2 months before he joined us. And I think that's a very hard thing to do, to be able to join a team after 2 months that's already kind of forming, and to walk into a fairly strong room and then get a seat in that room and be welcomed by your teammates. Said 2 things to me. 1, that he's a really good guy. 2, we have a really good locker room. And those 2 things have led him on his point streak and led our team to a little bit better second half.
Coach, we've talked a lot about Max Lundgren and what he's meant to your team, and both from the numbers that we see, the advanced numbers, anywhere you look, he's been one of the best goalies in the country this year. But I know he's also so important off the ice as well. Tell us a little bit about what he brings to the table, both as a goaltender on the ice and what he brings to the locker room off it as well.
It's fine. It's the same thing, consistency. I think one of the hardest things for any young person to have is consistency. And he's consistent daily, not only in his play and his performance, but mostly in his preparation. He does the same things. He gets himself ready to go. He's never really taken off his mark very well. He's always, kind of seems ready, and he always has felt that way to me. And I've told the story before, but when he first came in, he was ineligible. He had to sit out that year and only practice. He couldn't play, and he couldn't travel. But we got home from our first long road trip. I think it was Arizona. And we came into the locker room about 3 a.m. and there's Max waiting for us to help unpack the bags and unpack the sticks. And something that I didn't expect, never asked him to do. He just showed up, and he did that every single weekend that we got back as a team. He was in the room waiting for us, and he was participating as if he was one of the guys that was on that bus. To me, that set himself up for success here. It changed a lot of how our players who are injured go about their business daily relative to staying connected to the team. It's been a huge positive for our program, just having the human with us. And then you add in, obviously, he's very talented. He's very competitive. And this year has been very consistent. So he's been there from the beginning for us this year. Ironically, I heard you on your earlier segment mention the Mike Richter Award. I'm surprised his name hasn't been mentioned in that. It's actually kind of crazy to me. But that's how things go, I guess. Maybe he'll have to come back next year and get that award.
That's a great story about him showing up for you guys even when he wasn't there. Also want to talk about one of your freshmen, Parker Lalonde, making a push as one of the better freshmen in Hockey East. What stands out about him in his season so far?
Parker's just a very smart player. Really, again, I say this probably too much, but a really good guy. If you knew him, you'd just be rooting for his success because his approach is incredibly humble. He goes about his daily, walk in life with a lot of humility. Comes to the rink you would expect him to be exploding off the page point-wise like he has, or doing some of the things kind of lead our team in some areas, because he's just such a good human and he's so considerate, and he doesn't feel like he has the edge of competitiveness when you're meeting him away from the rink. But when you meet him on the rink, he has all of that and more, and he's been really good for us. The second half's been great for him. First half, I think he was feeling his way through, not just hockey-wise, but academically and on the campus and all that stuff. Second half, he's been really good.
Coach, obviously in this stretch, one of the things that's happened is your scoring's been up a little bit. And a big reason why is your special teams, one of the best power plays in Hockey East in the country this year. Penalty kill's been really solid all year. What's been the biggest key for your special teams to have so much success this year?
I say our power play is coached by Ryan DeRocher. And again, they've consistently gone after the same exact approach since day one. He's done an incredible job with the group. We have 2 units, both of them can score. We often compete in practice to see who will get the next power play in a game, and they get at it pretty hard. And both units have been very successful for us. And I think we've been able to keep. Certainly, the one unit has been almost together for like 3 months. The other units had some pieces move in and out of it, but has been still consistent with its biggest pieces. And I think that's helped. Whenever your power play has started to get a feel for where the other guys are going to be when they have the puck, you're going to start to grow. And that's really what we've done. And we've been consistently strong on the power play since the beginning of the year. And not always good on power play 1 or power play 2. But, as we tell our guys, you can't have a conscience on the power play. It's the next power play that matters. And we've been fortunate to get some in the third period, and it's helped our team win some games.
And we're in the final stretch. So what's it going to take for you guys to have the finish that you want?
We have to stay true to ourselves, to our game, not get caught up in the someone else's game. Keep our identity in our pocket with us, and understand that we're a team that has to win as a group. We can't win with individuals. We have to defend as a group. We can't defend individually. And if we stay on the attack, we'll be successful. Like the first half, we played some really good hockey, but for the most part, we played about 40 or 45 minutes, and we didn't get things over the finish line. A couple of losses this year that have really hurt us. And hurt us right now nationally, that, frankly, we kind of gave away because we got on our heels in the third period. But now, as long as we stay on the attack and stay true to it, I think we'll have a good finish here and hopefully play for a while.
Scott, it's been fun to watch the group the last couple of weeks. Look forward to seeing how things go down the stretch. Thanks so much for joining us for a couple of minutes.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
That's Scott Borek, the head coach of the Merrimack Warriors. His team will be up at Alphon for 2 this weekend. When we come back, we'll talk about the final weekend of the year on the women's side. That's coming up next on This Week in Hockey East.